have not been covering the blow for blow fight that's been going on between Microsoft and Sony and like the different like regulatory boards of the world trying to figure out if Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard is going to be good or bad for the industry or not. I think we've pretty definitively said how we felt about it. That yeah, it seems like it's a pretty good idea. Like it seems like it's probably fine. Xbox wouldn't be a monopoly simply by buying these two studios. That just like completely ignores the fact that there are thousands of other studios out there, and there are a lot of other giant AAA studios and whatnot. And Sony has been pretty hypocritical with a lot of this stuff. But based on some of the wording in some of the documents and things like that have been going around with this whole thing, it sort of has come to light that Call of Duty can't be on Game Pass for several years following prior agreements that Activision and Sony have had that basically would bar Call of Duty games from going on Game Pass. That Microsoft has made it clear that they are interested in honoring those deals. Basically, a footnote in the documentation says, the agreement between Activision Blizzard and Sony includes restrictions on the ability of Activision Blizzard to place Call of Duty titles on Game Pass for a number of years. So basically, it seems like even if Microsoft would buy Activision Blizzard, those games might not be coming to Game Pass day one like so many other games that... by so many, I mean all other Microsoft-owned studio games do. How do you feel about that, man?
I think that Microsoft is secretly being like, oh, darn. Because, like, ultimately people are just keep buying it business as usual. And I think the one thing that I think is important to remember is that Microsoft wants to make money, and they want to make as much money as possible. They're not going to like not sell Call of Duty to Sony and other PC and other places just so it can be on Xboxes. They're going to do what's going to be the best thing for it. I've said that till I'm blue in the face. I am still going to say that, and if I'm wrong, I don't understand business, and I don't understand it. But like business sense, it doesn't make sense. They didn't do it with Minecraft. Minecraft's one of the biggest games. Call of Duty probably up there with Minecraft as being like a big money-making thing that comes out every year. Yeah. So I think that this might be like Microsoft just being like, yeah, we want to keep selling these games full price. Like, we're not gonna put it on our Game Pass.
It doesn't seem like a huge deal if they can't do this. It would be one of those things where like, oh, it means I'm not gonna play them all, you know?
Yeah.
But like, I don't think that's going to be a barrier for people who are playing these games frequently and buying them every single year. Yeah, I don't know. Like, exactly, right? Like, oh, shucks, you got us.
Man, I guess we can't put them on there for free. No. Like,
yeah,
I
right.
mean,
like, oh, you're really twisting our arms and making people have to pay for these. Like, and make us more money.
And maybe eventually they can put the backlog of them on there. And like that will be something that's a value add to it. Like the new one comes out, you put the old one on there. So maybe that might slow things down, but like this is just an easy way for them to not have to like market that. Well, you said every first party thing goes on Game Pass, and they're probably like, yep, every first party thing that doesn't have a contract against it. So sorry, guys. Like, right. I think this is just like a happy accident for Microsoft in general for that. And this is probably way before this merger acquisition happened that Sony made that deal with them, because I'm sure Microsoft was trying to get Call of Duty for free on their thing, trying to make deals for that. And Sony just wanted to stop that because they had the partnership at the time.
And I think this is one of those things we talked about a few months ago when reports were saying like, yeah, Sony was paying studios to make their games not show up on Game Pass. I imagine some money went into this, right? There have been multiple deals that Sony has had with Activision for Call of Duty stuff, right? But like, yeah, I think this might have to change how Game Pass is marketed a little bit, because like so many of their trailers are like all the games from Microsoft day one on this platform. Now it's going to be like 90% of all games,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Who cares? I don't know. Like, sure, fine, whatever. Whatever you need to sing yourself to sleep at night, Sony, to feel better about all this happening. Man, I'm like I'm so tired of hearing about this. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't think that Sony really has anything to present, any evidence to present to say this is going to be bad for the industry.
But
yeah.
I don't think it's just Sony like doing this. I think this is like when you have the organization that's like doing this investigation, they're like present stuff, and then Sony's like, well, if we don't, like, that looks bad. Like, it's just like copyright law. Like you're protecting copyright laws that sometimes you don't want to sue that little person, but you have to do it to keep your copyright. So they're just doing that because they were asked to, or like this is what they're asked to present. So they're trying to make an argument for it. I don't think it's Sony just being like, oh yeah, this is definitely going to happen. This is definitely going to go through. They probably saw like an opportunity, like, we'll at least say what could be, and we'll try to make this argument. I mean, that's what lawyers do all the time. So right. I understand, like, it definitely makes Sony seem back and forth because they pay money to keep things off of Microsoft, just like Microsoft is paying money to try to keep stuff off Sony. But I think they're just trying to protect that, to make sure that it's not an issue.
Yeah, I think I'm more referencing like other things that have come out that they've tried to say. Like, I think one of their terms that they wanted to get Microsoft to agree to was like, well, you can't have any Microsoft, like Xbox exclusive content for Call of Duty games. All the while there's like so much PlayStation exclusive Call of Duty content, like with Warzone and then with Modern Warfare 2. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, I get that they have to play this game and they have to say these things and whatever. I just find it like tedious and so played out. And I guess what I'm really saying is I'm tired of having arguments with people on the internet. Not that I'm engaged in any of these, but like, is this good? Is Microsoft like overstepping? No, they're not. It's fine.
No, I think the real thing here is like, let's get some lawyers involved, like talking about this. Like, what is, like, from the legal perspective, like what is going on here? And is there a reason that Sony's doing this? Is there a reason why Microsoft is doing this? Is there a reason why the Competition Market Authority is doing this? Like, I think that is just something to, like, that's the kind of analysis we want, other than people just being like, well, Microsoft and Sony hate each other. Yeah. You know, like, this is more than just it being like a Call of Duty thing. This is like a legal law business thing that is much bigger than what I can possibly understand.